Never again defeat me. Never again say that I'm going to be defeated. Never again make me the underdog until I'm about 50 years old. That's right. Then you might get me.
What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Jack Catterall, Josh Taylor, Part 2. Get this. According to this article, very interesting, they say the future of fight scoring, a better way to judge fights? In a date to be determined in March, Josh Taylor will defend his WBO title in a rematch against Jack Catterall. The first fight was for the undisputed title, as Taylor had all 4 belts. Despite scoring a knockdown and most feeling Catterall had done enough to dethrone Taylor, the scores went the way of the champion. There was an outcry for pundits, fighters, and social media. Promoter Ben Shalom said things need to change. There are rumors that the scoring for this fight will have something a little different. But what? Boxing does have an old ancient system for scoring. It hadn't changed in a long time. How could it be better? Here are some of my ideas, some interesting, some not so much. If you can think of any more, let's see the comments. Okay, well, number 5, the judges. 2 heads are better than 1. 3 heads are better than 2. Quite often, the media will say the judges were watching a different fight from everybody else. Surely the more people that do it, they less likely it is getting it the wrong result. Pros, it takes 3 out of 5 judges to get the fight wrong in order to see a controversial result. Draws would be less likely because the majority is much bigger numbers. 3 judges would need to score a draw or 2 winners for one side and 2 the other in one draw. Cons, how many fights would we be able to assign 5 judges? This would only happen at the top echelon of the sport, world title fights. There are only certain number of judges to go around. So the grassroots and the regional titles would not be a benefit of this. Well, let me counterpunch that real quick, okay? The judges themselves, I think, shouldn't be judges. I think all the judges should be fired, eradicated, posted non-salite, okay? Why? Because there is a reason for sports analysts. There is a reason for fighters becoming boxing commentators. They know the sport. They know which punches are more powerful. They know which punches are more impactful. They know what punches really makes your eyebrows roar based on the type of landing, the punch placement, okay? And I think that the judges have no legitimacy judging fights. I think judges should be from boxers that already know their stuff. Then I think these judges should be boxers that have no vested interest. The boxers that are judges cannot be trainers, okay? They cannot be connected to any type of network whatsoever. They should only be assigned like jury is in America, okay? They wouldn't even know who they were scoring the fight for until they seen him. I don't think there should be any outside influence. That way, you wouldn't have problems with white or brown envelopes being slid into pockets or suit pockets of certain judges, okay? Or large amounts of money deposited in one's account from some miscellaneous source, anonymous source, just like it was when Holyfield had a draw against Lennox Lewis for their first fight for their unification, when back in the day when you had 3 belts. Okay, you wouldn't have stuff like that. I think that would help a lot, but having 5 judges, that's a lot going on. I just think that the judges should be screened, and I think they should get rid of the judges altogether, because if they, again, What warrants them to be legitimate judges? Did they go to school for it? Was it a damn trade? Who says they are in position to judge fights anyhow? So that's something that I've always wondered about all these fights. Like, okay, these judges, Chuck Jampa and Melvina Lathan and all these particular judges. It's like, okay, where do you guys come from? What's your protocol into judging fights or being chosen to judge fights? Okay. The next is scoring updates every 4 rounds. This system was often used in Eastern Europe, especially in Russia after 4 rounds. The MC would announce the scores. I remember a cruiserweight bout with ex-champion Gregory Droz using this method. I thought it was strange but interesting. Nonetheless, the scores were announced again after the 8 rounds before there was a stoppage. It takes away a lot of the guessing. We all know what's going on, and both fighters know what they need to do. No need to worry about trainers saying you're up, you're down, you need a knockout. Well, that's really closer to open scoring, okay? And even open scoring can be flawed, but it's better than you have a weird fight that went one-sided and in an upset, and then all of a sudden these judges are taking all damn day to send over their cards. Those cards are supposed to be filled out in every round, and when you see or you witness it takes longer for these guys to produce these cards, it makes you wonder, what the hell are you doing? I tell you what they're doing. They're filling those cards out based on politics, because they weren't scoring it round by round. They're scoring it the way they are probably bought or influenced or encouraged to score. So, yeah, after every 4 rounds is good, because at least you know that for one, they're doing their damn job, and for two, they're not being bought on the fly. Because no one really knows, especially if the fighters are not on the take, no one knows the production or the progression or the outcome of these fights until it's going on. And you surely see a guy that's supposed to be a cherry pick going in there and handle his business about or with someone that is the star of the main event. Okay, so that happens a lot. So I think that would be a very good way. And the location of the judges. Okay, I think the location of the judges is pretty much pointless, simply because I think the influence comes from the people at hand that buy the judges when they get there. Home cooking is a very known thing, and I think that happened in this fight with Josh Taylor. Go figure, it was in Scotland. Josh Taylor's Scottish. So I believe he got the shitty end of the deal because he wasn't Scottish, okay? He wasn't the unified champion, the undisputed champion at the time. See, there was a lot riding on Josh Taylor, okay? But karma's a mother sucker, because after this particular funny outcome and decision, he damn near lost all these belts anyway. They were either stripped or he dropped them. So there you go. But it only reflects that the guy that actually supposed to won was supposed to have been the undisputed champion. Look at these. Look, just take a look, okay? Landed versus thrown, okay? Power punches. 267 for Catterall. 179 for Josh Taylor. 81 landed overall. Power punches. 57 for Jack Catterall. 57 for Josh Taylor. Okay, total punches, 120 landed for Jack Catterall, 73 landed for Josh Taylor. There was a knockdown in this fight. So how in the fuck could this go the way that it went? Easy. It was the location of which the fight was held. I think that has more legitimacy than the judges at the time, because when the judges get announced, I think then the play is, okay, where you come in at, judge this way, and we got you. But this is very interesting to see how these would score. 5 judges instead of 3. scoring every 4 rounds instead of waiting to the end, then you may or may not even know that the judge that was hired is actually scoring round after round. And the location, I think that was probably the lesser one. Again, my recommendation before would be they wouldn't know who the judges are before, except when it's right before the fight. So that may help a lot of these weird scores or scoring or decisions not occur. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of these suggestions on how to get better decisions from corruption in the sport of boxing, the sport that I love, that I hate so much. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.